Solo Plutus will not join us because the obvious. But it seems actually the Plutus guy likely are actually okay. So there is no.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
chat.
Yeah, Pickle's been doing a whole like Twitter thread and talking to us about it. He reckons, yeah, they got off without damage, I think.
Yeah, I think the Plutus token crashed like 18% right after that happened. Now it's like back up like 10%. I mean, it was a nice buying opportunity.
Oh, did it end up not being a full hack?
It was not. It was not Plutus themselves who got hacked, as I understand it. Is Lodestar is a fork of Compound. I'm just giving what Pickle said to me. So he said that Compound, very old DeFi protocol, OG, never been hacked. But the reason it hasn't been hacked is it has a very tight control through its governance. So people assume the code itself is safe. They don't realize it has to work with the governance. So Lodestar kind of forked the code, didn't have the same vigilant governance community. And then according to the debrief, they were able to manipulate the price of the Plutus GLP token on the exchange, but not hack the token itself, just how it was priced. Does that sound right, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's they price as a ratio. They don't get the price. They price as a total asset. Divide the total supply. That is how you calculate the price. But the problem if you can manipulate one of the two variable, the ratio push it up. I don't know exactly which variable they manipulate because they have 500 transaction in that transaction, and they were able to borrow against. A lot of this act is just the flash loans facility. That it should be helpful for arbitrage, but it actually seems a lot to be helpful for hacking.
Well, that's
Yeah,
really
I heard the guy that came out like with like $2.8 million in profit, and like there's also like PLS GLP holders that also like once they saw the price of the asset go to 1.8, which usually is like around 1, they also like users also sold, and they also had like gains on top of not only the hacker had gains, also like some of the users.
Yeah.
We got Cadmus has joined. Don't know if you want to promote him.
Yeah, I'll promote him.
Yeah, it was then. Has there not been an official statement just come out from Lodestar that something like 2.4 of the 2.8 is recoverable or something? I don't really know what that means. It seems a bit optimistic.
But maybe it's true because it's like see, the hacker could borrow something, but he doesn't own anymore the PLS GLP, PLV GLP. So it's the loss is just the money took out. So, but when you do these flash kind of loans, your collateral will gonna stay in the protocol. Hey, Cadmus.
Can you hear me? All good?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Hello, everyone. Pleasure
Yeah,
to
you're
be
in
here.
the center of the news, Cadmus, in both protocols.
Yeah, exactly. How's it going, man?
It's been a long day. Waiting for the results of the investigation led by Plutus and Lodestar. They already did the official announcement, so
Yeah.
have to wait for the plan ahead.
For the best.
Yeah, so let's wait a little bit, people joining. Let me see what's this. Yeah, it's crazy timing though. So the Fed Pickle can join.
No, he did give me a kind of statement we can read in terms of, introducing himself and a few answers for particular questions if we get asked them particular topics. But yeah, he had a in real life thing came up he couldn't get out of.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you want to start, just do a presentation of the team first while we're waiting people, and see how we structure, how we make sure we don't have the same problem with Lodestar, this kind of stuff, given the topic.
Okay. Okay, I'll give that a go. So I'll just speak assuming people are very new to what we've been building and don't know much about it. So what we have is we have a joint venture structure, which is BWS Labs and Dopex NFT. So Luca is founder of BWS Labs, and what they bring primarily to the venture is the actual trading engine, the trading strategies, the actual make those vaults actually make money. What Dopex NFT bring is a lot of the tech to support that. So we bring the solidity, the front end, and the game as well. I'm personally the lead game designer, kind of head of the game team, although there's a guy under me who manages the team because it's actually the biggest team in people. It's really quite big. We have Renzo on the call. He is the head of the front end, so he's responsible for that team. And we have Bowtied Pickle, who is head of Solidity, although unfortunately he can't make it today. And so that's how we've structured it. And we also have Crypto Rat, who is head of tech, who was very deeply involved from the beginning in building out the protocol, and he still does a lot of the work at the coalface coding, and he's responsible for integrating the Solidity and the front end. We also have Renzo's also been doing a lot of our security work. We actually have 2 security experts here. Renzo can speak to his own background on that. We also have Bowtie Iguana as a consultant who's very well known on the security side, because I mean, it's we don't like toot our own horns and that, but it's kind of ironic. But literally one day before this hack, Pickle had on his own Substack had been warning precisely about forking the likes of Compound, and problems that can happen. We do take this very seriously, and I think one of the lessons learned about this is we are doing our own code. We don't just we like the idea of Lego, like, you know, we're building Lego, we're assembling Lego, but we're not just blindly throwing stuff together. We are actually custom coding. And for example, what Pickle has been doing with the Solidity contracts is trying to build them in a modular structure so that it's a lot easier to see how things should fit together, and you can prioritize the audits of the most important parts. We've got our own rigorous internal sign-off structure. And so, yeah, basically we are doing everything we can forward looking to make sure we don't get stung by this kind of thing, although obviously it's never 100% protected. And we are not, for example, relying on many other protocols between us and, say, JMX. Like, we are building directly onto it. We're not going through these, you know, layers of derivatives for the Solidity contract. So less, you know, we're trying to minimize what can go wrong. But anyway, that's a little bit of a deviation. Back to the team stuff. So yeah, that's the structure of the team. I mean, we're still a small protocol. We've been working on a small budget. We're building stuff out, but that's the structure we've decided.
And maybe Renzo, you can add about your background and.
Yeah, happy to. I've been with the team for about 4 weeks now. That's not a very long time to get involved in a project like this with so many moving parts. Still ramping up on the project, so you'll have to excuse me if I don't have immediate answers to all of your questions. I'm working closely with Crypto Rat on the front end, anything involved in Web3 integrations to get up to speed and take over the front end operations here soon enough, maybe after the holidays. I have nearly a decade of experience in Web 2 front end and service layer architecture. On Web 2 projects I've worked on, they've been involved in the healthcare industry, cloud computing industry. I've worked on various CMSs before. I have about a year of experience in Web 3, working on various Ethereum and various other projects on other blockchains. I have a strong background in full stack engineering and web security. I've worked on several enterprise scale projects built out on AWS and other cloud computing platforms. Security-wise, I've built and maintained SAML and OAuth authentication layers, and have worked on a fairly large object storage platform. I have some continuous integration experience, continuous deployment chops, and I'm going to be working immediately on building out a lot of our continuous integration workflows for the front end platform, so that we can do things like roll back really easily in case any issues come up with production code, as well as get on a really strong release schedule where we can, release safely and quickly.
Yeah, sounds good. I don't know, maybe BBK, and while we wait if people are joining, BBK and Cadmus, they're gonna give a small bio as well.
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. I'm BBK. I was working with DeFi Dope on Dopex NFT. I'll be doing the social media and community management, and as well as some video production animation for the marketing. So you see some of that come out soon.
Sounds good. What about Cadmus?
Yeah, Cadmus. I've been an active participant in Dopex community, as well as I've been involved in Plotus modding the Discord there. Recently, I joined maybe a month ago, maybe even more, Discord, and for the past few weeks, I've been mostly busy with building partnerships, contacting our core partners, which is Camelot, Dopex, Plotus, and everybody else. We're planning to collaborate ahead. That's long story short.
Yeah, of course, when we're gonna have the protocol live, we have more data to share. It's gonna be also our official Dune master, and create some cool say visualization on how the grow. We're gonna help Arbitrum to grow, because we use many protocol within as Dopex, as GMX. So we're able to see that our exposure is multiplied through the ecosystem, because we are quite active participant in terms of at the moment of let's say frequency of trading, but hopefully soon enough also in terms of sizing of asset inside the various protocol.
So Luca, if I can just interrupt, shall I read out Pickle's bio? Well, this is what he wrote to me for the meeting, just as an introduction.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm not a very good narrator. I certainly shouldn't do audiobooks. Okay, I'll just read it literally as written. Hey everyone, apologies I couldn't make the AMA in person. I'm excited to be working on this project, as I feel we have an opportunity to fill a sizable gap in the DeFi space. My role in the development team is head of Solidity. I work together with Bowtied Orioli and CryptoRat to develop D-squared smart contracts, helping integrate the on-chain and off-chain components and oversee the protocol's on-chain security. A little bit about me. I got started in Solidity when I first got into crypto and realized I was going to get rugged if I couldn't read contracts. Since then, I've worked with a wide array of projects ranging from lending DeFi protocols to NFT collections, and also worked as a smart contract auditor. I also produce a lot of educational content about smart contracts and on-chain security. I'm a firm believer in self-custody, but it comes with a lot of risks if you don't know what you're doing. I do everything I can to help people secure their crypto, understand their risk in the space, and develop their own threat models. Philosophically, I'm a believer in decentralization and trustlessness. While D-squared may need some aspects of operation or governance, I try to minimize those components as much as possible. That's why our primary development priority right now is the trading strategy contracts to give users the strongest security guarantees for their funds, while still allowing Luca to work as magic and earn those yields. Magic. End quote.
Yeah, so the idea at the moment we're trading with so the vaults is already live, and we trade with the V0 vault contract, where let's say have a lot of freedom to basically do what to take advantage of various opportunity, which is good in a sense. You can very quickly pivot in whatever protocol there are opportunity, but it's not the best in terms of security. So what we are working strong now is basically to have a system of so Piccolo can explain much better than me, but system of whitelisting, where it's basically every protocol or every contract that the trader contract can interact with is all whitelisted a priori. So the idea is the funds will basically have the same risk, let's say, to trade on GMX, because the only things we do is just call that particular contract, so we don't add any layer of more complexity on top, and the idea will still be enough modularization. I don't know if it's actually I can tell in English, but to basically allow to still trading as I want, but with the highest level security that is possible. So, for example, so the main protocol we build on is Dopex and GMX. So how we gonna interact with the various routers? So, for example, of course, Dopex have a lot of products, because as devs do a lot of work and a lot of innovation in the space. So we'll need to be a continuous whitelisting on new products. So I don't know if you say, Tama, you want to give an overview of the new product pipeline of the insured perp. You call it option perp?
Option perps, yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know the name exactly yet because it's something in the future that's going to.
I will call it super perp, but just me.
Yeah. By the way, just knowing, like, putting like voices to like faces that have been on the Dopex community for a long time, like DeFi Dope, BBK, Luca, you guys, Cadmus, you guys have been like for a long time Dopex fan, like Dopex in the Dopex community. So just knowing that you guys like are part of like of D Squared already there gives like some form of trust, you know. So that's nice. And also, like, I like that you guys are expanding. So that's congratulations on that part, even though we're in a bear market.
D-Square is actually, the name is coming from Bella, to be honest, because I was in a call with her when we were, when we talk about it, and I told the name, but you say, okay, that sounds nice. Because, you know, we have a Dopex NFT, have already Dopex in the name, but we need to tell that we are different protocol. So we just use the D. And the other things, if will probably nothing of this exist if I didn't met Alco, like was still December 2021. So because I start trading just my money and just I'm in crypto because the first month went very well, and the idea is start to build on. But I was trying to recruit kids, and I think nobody really understands too much about derivatives, so I don't know how actually we can expand. Actually, when I met Halko, I say, okay, wow, there's people understand how it's going on. It's a much understanding. So is without Halko, I will definitely not be in crypto, I will say.
Yeah, for real. That's something that you should tell them. You'll probably be proud.
Yeah. We put in the game. Actually, later we want to show it because the most funny things in the in the resort. So people go to Noemi. That probably she's gonna be join a bit later. But the idea is Alco sketch in the resort is very fun. So maybe like DeFi Dope later gonna show a bit the sketch. But yeah,
it's also cool. It's also cool what you guys are doing with, like, because right now, like you mentioned, like everything's done manually, right? So you guys are gonna transfer from that into like having like everything whitelisted, so everything happens on the contract end, right? Yeah. So that's also like something that, because when you think about like when users like actually invest in like in a protocol, they look for those factors, right? So like those little things are gonna make that the users like have that extra step that they're gonna say, okay, I'm fine. Like let's say with what happened with Lodestar. Like I personally didn't invest because you know they're early product and all that, but you always have to look for those little things that are gonna say, okay, there's less risk in this product because of that, right?
Yeah. It's we completely agree and share that view. But yeah, if you want to give an overview of Dopex new innovation.
Yeah. Well, there's so much going on Dopex, to be honest. Like, I mean, for the next few months, let's say the first product that we have in line, I would say is going to be either OLPs, which is our option liquidity pools, which are going to let users sell their options mid epoch anytime into liquidity providers. And I'm basically right now what I'm doing basically with Dopex is that because I don't know, since the FTX thing, like 4 out of 5 of the private investors, they all blew up. So right now we're looking for it's crazy what's happening. So yeah, right now I'm looking for like I'm doing biz dev to look for liquidity providers. So we can have like a floor. Like, let's say, there's always that point where it doesn't make sense, and people are willing to purchase options at that price because it's just convenient and just like price wise, right? So let's say they provide a floor at like 10% implied volatility discount. Somebody that really wants to get out of an option, he could like just dump it in there, like the market maker would be happy to buy that. He could even arbitrage it on a centralized exchange, and that would be like either they arbitrage it, either they hold it till the end, and that would be for EV positive. And long term, it should be EV positive for them. So that's what we're looking for now. That could also help other protocols, like ecosystem protocols, like let's say Jones DAO or you guys also have like more leverage to like in a way that you can sell options more like composability, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Acadmus always asked me when the Apex. So the Apex was we have 3 strategy, and the Apex is the one that do mostly option arbitrage. So GLP AVAX++ is currently using Dopex mainly to hedge the tails because it's the safest. The Apex will be more hedge fund like to look in the kind of gamma replication, delta hedging, all this kind of stuff, and over different product arbitrage. So you can do just in TradFi, you just call it volatility arbitrage. So say you have a 20 delta call on Dopex trading at 75 vol because coming from the RTBit, and in Premium instead is the market, and the 10 delta call is 95 vol, so just 20 vol spread. You take the spread, you put the spread on, and you take it and you hedge the basis. So this kind of trading. The problem is kind of trading, we need that kind of secondary market because the market changed so much. So say you put a spread at 20 vol spread and market collapses 5, you definitely want to keep it the same spread at the same sizing at least. You want to take a little bit profit of the table. So it's it requires some degree of let's say flexibility that if you have just a primary base market that as current model Dopex is, make my tail risk as a trader much higher because I take in spread risk, and I can monetize if I'm right, I can stop out if I'm wrong. And the most important thing is make more money when you're right than when you lose it when you're wrong. So that is very important for us. But one product, so assume we have the balance sheet, one thing we can do is actually a 10% discount versus the bit. I'm happy to buy all the option that my balance sheet that allow me. So we will be both market maker, the most liquidity takers, but also will help to create liquidity on Dopex on the OLP. So we're very excited about that. So because it's as further we have a balance sheet to other vaults. So our model that is very modular will allow to use different vault to use as a collateral for other. So the idea you can if there is opportunity that a vault given a certain mandate, so the Apex gonna be option arbitrage plus base exposure to it upside with the less downside. So you basically, if you invest in the Apex in the long term, so not month to month, but in the long term, you're looking for more upside in it, but with less downside. Thank you, because you add positive EV strategy on top. And the idea is you will able to take advantage also in other vaults. So GLP AVAX++, is based on GLP. So GLP, let's call it 19% hit at the moment. Okay, so you have that exposure at the moment. We edge to shorting through Aave, but say there is another leg that the Apex need for the strategy, we can just don't short to up to in Aave, we can just have a synthetic replication with a different vault. So we basically let us optimize the capital for between all the ecosystem. And
okay, so basically you guys like use all your vaults to leverage off each other, so you can, like, let's say you don't need, because one would need something and the other one would need something more specific. You can use that whatever it would happen on that vault to make the other vault work, right?
Correct. So and the idea that one of the plus of the things is the start is when to have both Avalanche and Arbitrum is people have different needs. So we for example, we're gonna use a layer 0 to communicate between different chain according to the opportunity are, but the Arbitrum Maxi just stay in Arbitrium. They don't need to bridge to Avalanche. The Avalanche Maxi, they stay in Avalanche. They don't need to go to Arbitrium, but they can take advantage of both opportunity because all is moving between the DSQ and BWS ecosystem. So we can, in the marketing, is a marketing term, we call it next level composability, because in sense that we can build any structure we want, taking the fact that people have different needs. So if you see if you did the resort from DeFi Dope, can you just put in the screen the resort?
Yeah, sure. Can you? I can share screen, right?
Yeah.
No, you've got to enable screen sharing.
Yeah. So
okay,
the idea
give me a moment.
Yeah, the idea from north to south, there is institutional on the top. There is let's say calling normal people in.
You can see this now.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can just click on the resort. Yeah. So the idea, the north part institutional side, so this QVR portal. So that is the one that will be developed later, but have all the TradFi contacts. So I kind of repeat all the time, but it's basically I've been portfolio manager for volatility trading for 5 years for institutional settings. So my last shop was a PAG, that is a $50 billion asset manager. And so I was trading every day with the various Goldman, JP Morgan, UBS, Morgan Stanley, all these kind of people. So the idea is, if I prove the model, for me is actually people gonna trade with me. They are my reference. They don't need to do too much KYC in sense.
Will you be bringing like the TradFi people, like centralized like TradFi people like to DeFi?
Yeah. So the idea actually, to be honest, the most excited there are the pension schemes that I spoke with in Australia. In Australia, there is people have $200 billion superannuation fund, all Noturo tax return. But the idea, if they just give an allocation, they will not give. They will not trade in Dopex directly, just to be, or will not punt on GMX. But they like to have an exposure to a growing technology. Yeah. And the idea we can repackage payoff that are capital protected for them, and use so there is other company in Australia that have a company that they already have the custodial side set up and everything, but they don't have any DeFi presence. What you can do is just put BWS and DSQ in the middle, and since repackage different payoff. If say there is a family office or a pension scheme, they want a particular payoff, they can write a structured product to them, settle in cash, okay, and manage the counterparty with us. So transfer the risk to us with the settlement on chain, if it makes sense. So the idea is a fully collateralized, so there is no risk. There is all on chain, but they manage the risk. The end user of the product are off chain. But there is, for the other side of the trade, there is no risk because it's, all the settlement happen on chain. So I've been already different conversation that it can be a very big market. So because in sense, these people trade in 10, 50 million clip. So the market, of course, is not ready for that, but we have the optionality to scale up through that if the product is successful. So we need at least, I don't know, say 50 million TVL, and after people are gonna take us seriously on do this structuring. So as you see, there is a JP Morgan that already tried to do something like that, but they don't gonna go to the single protocol because it's risky for them. So they're very happy to trade with people like me, but to still have access. So in that sense, we're gonna have an access kind of edge that we can take advantage to basically scale up the protocol.
Yeah, I always find like that, like people like protocols basically that are like you guys are gonna be like how do you say that? You're gonna be mostly exposed, right? You're gonna be like not anons like us, let's say. You guys have when you're anons, you always have like that restriction of like other. There's a lot of people that don't trust anons right away.
Yeah.
And not only that, there's also like also institutionals. Them, it's like already you're cut off right away. Like right now, like I'm doing BD. They're anons. We gotta check. Do you have like contacts that you know that we know also that they can like say that we trust you, etc., right? But there's always that little bit of more difficulty. Sometimes we make it work for sure, but yeah, it's always better to be.
No, but in sense, if you call so Goldman Sachs make me the reference for this job, the job, Optiver make me the reference. So it's I made the sell side a lot of money through the years, so more than 20 million bucks. So people remember if you make them money, and the idea is everybody know that I'm correct. I never try to screw anyone. So there is people are happy to make a business with me, conditional to the fact there is I have interest on the other side, of course. They're not in finance. Very few people are very charitable.
Yeah, for sure.
in that sense.
I'll just keep going with the pipeline because I don't have much time left. So
Yeah.
I just want so we have time to speak on the other stuff. So we have OLPs coming up. We have also perp liquidation protection, which is gonna be you guys probably heard of it. It's which let's say you guys go on GMX, you can buy puts equal to your amount of a margin, which is gonna save you. Is gonna put your leverage at 1x instead. Let's say you go 30. Well, we don't do 30x because that's a bit detailed. But let's say we go like 10x. That's what we do maximum. So let's say you go 10x, you buy 10 puts on ETH, you're gonna have that leverage brought down to like 1x, which means you basically have no leverage. You just have your capital that you can lose because we use the put collateral to. Because right now we changed the model a bit, so instead of like getting the put collateral right away when like the contract has to follow when it gets close to liquidation, we send the money. Instead, what we did is that whenever you buy the puts, we right away we send the money into the position. So there's no contract like let's say there's a de-escalation event. There wouldn't be like an error that would like let's say whatever happens like a contract error or whatever. The collateral the position would always be protected because it's the money is already in there, right? You're basically just like.
For the writer perspective, it's still the concept of the max strike.
Yeah, the concept stays the same. The max strike. Let's say you provide liquidity for ETH for $1,200. You're gonna be able to write positions puts basically up until 1,200. Let's say you buy a put at $1,000 put. The $1,200 seller, he's gonna be able to also sell $1,000 put. But he basically provides liquidity to all the positions below 1,200. So that's like the liquidity side. And for the buyer side, like I mentioned, like you're gonna have basically no leverage. You're gonna pay a funding fee at the beginning for basically for borrowing the capital which is inside the put. And so that's the product in a nutshell. Except that, what do we have after that? What do we have? Okay, we have RDPX V2, but I cannot speak much about it. Yeah. Everybody's like freaking waiting for that shit.
Yeah, it's like
There's
when it
Nutoro that's
started,
gonna come out. Sorry.
more than 1 year ago, when I actually joined Dopex, was already V2
Yeah.
talks.
Yeah, me too, man. The same thing. Yeah, but Nutoro is writing like one thing I can say is that Witterblock he give a paper like the technical paper, which me Nutoro had to like simplify to put out like a readable version of it. But shit, man, that shit was like Chinese, man. Like, we couldn't understand nothing. So me, I had a lot of work with BD, so I pushed that work. I said, Nutoro, you get in charge of this. So he's writing the paper for that. Like, hopefully, he's not gonna come out too autista, you know. It's not gonna be
2027 if it's Nutoro time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it should be it should come out, and then after that, I think Witterblock is like he's like working his ass off on this. So
yeah,
let's hope for the best for release. That's gonna open so many doors, because that's gonna allow for like for SSOVs is gonna allow for rebates. It's gonna also, once RDPX v2 releases, I'm pretty sure it's gonna release at the same time as Dopex USD or whatever we're gonna call it. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, once that comes out, there's so much that's gonna happen. Like there's a TZ that he bought all kinds of convex and curve to like promote the pool. Then there's gonna be I can't tell you right now, like there's all kinds of stuff is gonna happen, but yeah, you guys have to wait for it.
no, it's exciting. There's a lot of stuff you can build on top, especially the OLP, the OLP, but also all the other innovation. The FIDOP is just, if you just want to give a small screen share of the Dopex Innovation Center in the resort.
Yeah, of course. Let's do it.
It's actually crazy. Like I've been active in Dopex since all bear market. Actually, it feels like forever. It feels like all my crypto journey has been in bear market, and Dopex has been building every single day. Like a ton of products in the pipeline, and most of them are actually revolutionary. It's something we haven't seen in the market. So super excited for all of those products.
Yeah, thanks,
Can you just put the small audio for Alco? With the audio?
You can't hear the sound, no. I don't think the sound's coming through.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to turn the sound on.
But it's very funny.
I can do the animation, but unfortunately we don't get that kind of weird leprechaun voice.
Yeah. And I promise I need to buy him the suit when we hit $100 million TVL. So I already have the ability. Yeah, we already
says the RDPX version 2 stablecoin, you're gonna follow like never before.
and yeah, so this, for example, there is an example how we use Solidity call, just read only in the resort. So if you see, this should be actually better than your bot. I checked the last day that the pricing in the
for the pricing on the price bots. Okay, fucking corporate. It's corporate, bro. He's updating that shit every month, bro.
Yeah, our price bots that are now doing the resort, this should be quite accurate of what happened in what you see in Sushi. And that's the idea. So initially the resort gonna be read only for security reason. So we are able to read from the blockchain, but we don't allow to write because they're gonna create a lot of security headaches to basically make sure there is no. So if you say a hacker, we get $50 million TVL. We're gonna become a target of hacker. They're gonna try, okay, how we exploit the squared, and they see a game and say, oh, that is something we can try to exploit, but actually you can't because there is no writing component. So we completely drastically reduce the problematic to basically secure a game that there is so many different. If you just go around to the game, it probably take more than 1 hour. So is you will still able to win game coins, but you will able just to withdraw to another front-end application, if it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So Cadmus, what you were
It's nice
saying?
what you guys are building here.
Cadmus?
Yeah, go ahead, Cadmus.
Yep, what's up?
Yeah, you were talking about your journey in Dopex. So this maybe is interesting for the audience.
No, I was telling that I've spent most of the beer market in Dopex community and Plotus, and Dopex has been building heads down all beer market. They did release multiple products in during the market downturn, and they have a couple of products in the pipeline already. And as far as I'm aware, a couple of them are very close to release. So super excited in general for Dopex as a protocol and also as an ecosystem, since we're building on top of them.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you maybe want to just give an idea also for the Plutus side. So Etersole was supposed to join us, but with the PLV, GLP is busy. So if you want to just speak, because you also work for Plutus, so to give an overview of another of our partner.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be able to shed a lot of light there. So at the moment, the team is busy investigating the issues that they faced.
Yeah, but
today,
just in
together
general,
with
what
Lodestar.
Plutus does
Yep.
and what
Yeah.
what's the value
So just
just
before you go for that, because I'm gonna have to leave. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to go. So just want to give a little fast. Also other stuff that we're working on the side. So we have Straddles, right? So that's another thing that
Yeah.
we released like not long ago. But we're also working on inverse Straddles, which is like instead of depositing USDC, you would deposit the underlying token. And we would switch the underlying token with whenever somebody would buy, you would sell basically the underlying token, half of it, into USDC, which would create a straddle position for. So basically, for the buyer, it wouldn't change nothing. The buyer would still be a straddle. A straddle is a straddle, a long straddle, basically. But for the seller, you would be able to choose. Let's say, I'm bearish on the market or I'm bullish on the market. Let's say he's bullish on the market. He's gonna sell like straddles like we're offering right now. But let's say he's bearish, because right now the way it works is if the price goes down, you lose money. But if it stays the same or if it goes up, you're fine, right? But now let's say you think the market is gonna stay down, right? Or or it's even gonna go down, right? So you want to do the inverse. So that's what we're coming out with, the inverse straddles. So, but that's what also nice, because a lot of people don't want to sell their tokens. I noticed a lot of people like they just want to, let's say with Dopex calls, like a lot of people invest in Dopex calls because you deposit the underlying token. But Dopex calls, if you think about it, when you sell Dopex calls, those are like bearish, like a call, selling a call is bearish, right? And a lot of people that like those are the vaults that get the most traction, not selling puts. Even though selling puts is like the bullish side of doing options. So yeah, so I think it's gonna be a lot more traction like on the inverse straddles like that than we think. So that could bring a lot of TVL to Dopex also. And let's say there would be a protocol, an ecosystem protocol that would like to invent like a vault that does 50% on the normal straddles and 50% on the inverse straddle. That would create also a straddle like strategy for the seller, right? So that would be a cool thing that for an ecosystem, a partner to do.
Is half the sizing of the inverse straddle is just half call and half call, no? So there is.
It would be half selling puts and half selling calls, if you would do both of them. Except that we have like by the way, I don't know if but you guys probably heard, like since you guys are part of the community, I'm just gonna say it. We're offering right now like 5% extra on IV like boost implied volatility, so people can arbitrage on like centralized exchanges, or just sell options at a higher price. Which that's something like that a lot of people could like even just like through other exchanges, option exchanges like Lira or
the Apex gonna do exactly that.
Exactly, that's awesome.
It's
That's awesome.
already working in my PA. It's just not live yet for the sizing things. And we take the Apex. We really need OLP because it's, again, most important things to take care about the worst case scenario, and just the primary market is a big hurdle if you do the risk management as I do. And yeah, so it's but is a strategy take advantage of that is already live.
Yeah,
Just
that's awesome.
not in the vault, but I'm
Yeah,
trading.
we're willing to push anybody that like builds on top of that. So if you guys have like any announcement, like just post it in the internal Discord.
Yeah,
I'm
the idea now is to launch the Apex on the 23rd of December. See how the market gonna be exactly, but yeah, so that strategy is actually already live, just not inside the vault. It's inside my PA.
Is it working well or what?
Yeah, I mean, the difficult things to do it is because the GMX is expensive to hedge. So what I'm trying to figure out is exactly how to optimize through the different vault. So GApex is a mirror verti component. So intend is sell high and buy low. GLP AVAX plus is momentum based. So we'll need to buy in different time frame. So GApex is just looking for a 10% move in 2-3 days.
Yeah.
And take full leverage of that. So at the moment there is no signal. GLP AVAX plus is a constant strategy. You just allocate a little bit more when this various, there is about at the moment 6 signal of momentum models that is an ensemble of that, but it can be added. There is no magic formula. It's all work around. But the idea is to take advantage of the fact to a different vault with different mandate, and be able to do the delta hedging without trading, just change the PNL between the different vaults. And that will take some time to actually execute it, but that will allow me to have a competitive edge and to do the to have very similar delta hedging cost that I have when I was trading FTX, for example.
That's awesome.
So,
Well,
yeah.
like you said, like on 23rd, I'm willing to like post it on for sure on Dopex. We can push a bit more like some views on it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it. Also,
amazing.
Last thing, I'm just gonna put it out there. I know I'm pushing the far a bit. V Dopex, you guys probably heard like on the Legends part of the Discord. Yeah. There's all kinds of things that are gonna come up, so you guys probably heard like read it. I think it's gonna, like TZ mentioned, like there's gonna be an airdrop of a token, a few things. Like just go check it out. I'm not gonna say too much because I'm not even sure I'm supposed to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good to talk to you guys.
No, appreciate your coming.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
for your time.
Awesome.
Thanks. Have a good one, Saddam.
Good job, guys.
Thank you. So I think we can end here for today. So the Plutus event is probably like put the focus on people to the community to check their money.
Yeah, it's a wrecking ball, isn't it?
Yeah, it's no, but I mean, I probably some of people in the community, they are partying right now because it's they made money. They sold the PLV GLP at 1.8. So I'm not sure that everybody got tracked. I think there is also some winner in the community.
Yeah, I think it's very early to figure it out as well. So well, I'm sure we'll get a very long debrief of it over the next few days.
Yeah. Sounds good, guys. Have a lovely evening.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Yeah. Have a good one. Bye.